Okay. For specialization, I know my last video ended right on warfare. I'll come around to showcasing the article for warfare and explaining it, just doing a better explanation of it later. But we're going to go on to how the units are going to be created. So with those spawn points that are generated from the amount of pawns that you have, you are able to put forward another pawn, so a pawn, a military unit, or the culture unit. And your castle can only create up to 3 max pawns. So there's 3 pawns that your castle is allowed to create, and beyond that, you have to capture the other pawns. And then when someone captures someone's pawn, that player would be able to bring in one of those other pawns that's still not on the board yet. So that, yeah. Okay. Okay. The player and the AI within the category specialization would pick to create either another citizen, another pawn, and it would generally be if you have spawn points and you haven't created more than 3 pawns. Because I'm going to make it so that when you get your 4th pawn, you would have an extra turn, an extra productivity turn. So every turn in the game is split into 2 phases. The spawn in of units and the action that you're going to take, the productivity. Maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Productivity sounds like spawn in stuff. The action phase. So in the action phase, it's determined by how many citizens are in your society. And it goes 1 pawn means 1 action, 2 pawns means 2 actions, 4 pawns means 3 actions, and that's the max amount of actions so far in the game. So you can't create your 4th pawn, and if you have 3 pawns, then you would have 3 spawn points, and that would just mean if you have lost a military unit, or you lost your culture unit, or you haven't created either of those yet, you just be able to place them into the game world. So that's the whole idea about why you can't make more than 4 pawns. And that's the idea of spawn points and how they're kind of wrapping into... It's kind of a weird way to do it, but we're making sure every part is kind of segmented in a way that can be modified later if I want to change it, think of something better. And just so that can be documented correctly. And also, it forms a checklist for what needs to be coded. Like, yeah. I've coded for a long time, so the documentation, the way I'm going to create the rule sets are going to be mock code, sorta. They're just going to be helping me get to coding it later. But it also helps just frame, it's really good for game design. It really helps make the ideas very clear. Okay, so damn. So the spawn points does not have more than 3 pawns. Outcome, you're able to add a citizen. I forgot, I haven't really added in the code I haven't added in the nature of objects. Like I was saying yesterday, every object has a nature. All these rules are formulas to determine what's the highest value, what the score is for that rule. And when you look at all the options within a category, the highest number would be the nature of that object. And I haven't added in code for that, or I haven't added in the descriptions for that. For like migration, so for migration, in the ability section, I would need to add something like, oh, okay, well, I don't really know how to phrase it just yet, but in general, how the tribes look at how far away the other tribe is, there could be, I mean, there has to be a determination there. Like, say a tribe is friendly or a tribe is aggressive, then if they see another tribe that's aggressive or friendly, they might move towards it. Aggressive tribes might move towards all kinds of tribes, and peaceful tribes might move towards other peaceful tribes. And what that would look like in the ability section, like what that would look like for the code, the kind of like numbers, the formula, what the best outcome is, it would be something like, what's my distance from the other, how many tiles away am I from another tribe, and is it a negative? Like, does their demeanor make me more likely to move towards them or less likely to move towards them? And that would be in the considerations in the code. The computer would just whir through it, figure out all the numbers in a millisecond, and then pick the best choice. But I haven't really represented that in terms of descriptions, and I haven't really thought that part out yet. I've just kind of created the base game in my... haven't showcased it all yet. There's more to come. Okay. I'm going to leave this video here for now, and then keep making more and more videos.